When the man is erect, the intention is to get it
Well,
somewhere.
that day he's not going to get it. He has to control himself, or he's going to get blue balls. Because if I'm going to check the size, I will check the size. I cannot do guesswork, darling.
Now, let's assume that he has the perfect size, but it's one thing for you to have a perfect size, and it's another thing for you to know how to use that perfect size. You find out that if you're the one who likes fellatio and your man cannot give you that consistency and rhythm down there, just as your toy can, it becomes a problem. You now see how incompatible he is.
What did I hear? So toys can give fellatio these days?
Of course,
I'm lagging behind though.
Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Jane Lawrence and I come with a lot of juicy content.
And this is your girl, Esther Maka. It's nice to be here once again.
Yes. So today we're going to pick out one of the comments and react to it. There was a post that I made on YouTube. It's a reaction regarding someone who sent me a mail about how his woman's sexual incompatibility has made him lose stamina in bed. So I think there were some things that I said that if you're not sexually compatible with your partner, it's going to make it a lot tougher for the partner who is in deficit. All right. And so that's why it's important that you find your type and you marry your kind. So if you know that you're a nymph and you meet someone, you have to be open about it. Tell them, you know, this is who I am. If they're not aligning with your sexual prowess, then it's a good time to say goodbye, because you don't want to get married to someone who cannot meet up with your sexual expectations. Same thing as when someone says, oh, I don't believe in going down on a man, or I don't believe in going down on a woman, and you know that you love cunnilingus, you love fellatio. It's a very good time for you to just be open and walk away if there is no compromise in between. So someone sent a message saying that so how, okay, this is from Al John 2028, and it says, so how do you reconcile religious beliefs of no sex before marriage and figuring out if you're sexually compatible? Talking about sex before matrimony is only going to get you so far without experience. Now, I'm going to be honest.
Yeah, please.
I really have to be honest. Now, I am one person who does not believe in premarital sex, right? I am a staunch believer of having sex with one person in the confines of your marital wall or the institution called marriage. And to be honest with you, that is something that I have had at the back of my mind growing up as a child. I was born again when I was much younger, right? So I grew up in a religious setting where we dedicated our virginities to God with the mindset that we're going to have it with just one person for the remainder part till death do us part. But you know, we didn't really see the future and how reality would set in. Now we live in a time where sex is so important in a relationship or in courtship in such a way that a man or a woman wants to test to see if they're sexually compatible, because we've had cases where marriages have been broken because of sexual incompatibility. Sexual incompatibility. You know, so how do you decipher if someone will be sexually compatible? And like he rightly said, or she rightly said, that you can only get too far with conversations without experience. And it's a lot dicey, to be honest with you. You can only trust God to give you that partner who, how do I even put it, Seth?
Like if I mean, you don't actually have to experience sex to know if, let's say, the size. Some people are very particular about the size, so they don't want small joysticks. They feel this is not going to satisfy me, especially after I've given birth and all of that. And we all know the female body is elastic, so as you get older, and all of that. So most women prefer them
As you
big.
get older, what happens? It loses it. It loses its
Elasticity.
really.
Yeah, it won't be as tight. The collagen, it won't be as tight as when you were 25. Let's say you're 50. It won't be as tight as, and you've had 3 4 kids. That's biology. It's not going to be same. So most women prefer big, or at least medium to small. So, and if your belief does not allow you to actually experience sex before matrimony, there are ways you can find out,
Right.
Yeah. So, let's say you guys are just, because at that point, before you walk down the aisle, he's all hot for you. Mere being close to him can give him a hard on. So you just play around. Let's say you go on a date and you come back and you just, or you sit in a park, you just sit on his legs, and then you rub yourself around him a little bit, and then he gets hard. Then you can check. You can actually check if size is your problem.
If you're a born again Christian, wouldn't
You
that
can
go
still
again?
check. You can still check. You're not
Wouldn't-
doing it. You're not doing, there's no penetration. You're just
That's you
checking to be
testing the
sure.
waters.
You're not testing.
That's you
He's
testing the
not
water, because
he's
the truth
not
is,
entering you.
if you're with a man who does not also fall in line with that belief system of, no premarital sex, you're you're leading him on.
Well, would you say that when a doctor inserts his fingers to check for something in a woman's vajayjay, he's trying to turn her on?
He's not arousing her, but you're arousing the
For a
man
purpose.
that's
A
not
clinical purpose.
when
You
a
just
man
want
is
to
erect.
check the size. Like,
when a man is erect, the intention is to get it
well,
somewhere.
that day he's not going to get it. He has to control himself, or he's going to get blue balls. Because if I'm going to check the size, I will check the size. I cannot do guesswork, darling. Then you enter, and then something is
Okay,
barely scratching the surface.
let's assume that he has the perfect size, but it's one thing for you to have a perfect size, and it's another thing for you to know how to use that perfect size and scratch that age. So in a case where you know already that he's got a perfect size, how do you then tell if you're compatible, in a sense that, his duration? He could be perfect in size, but he lasts only 2 minutes.
He can be taught.
To extend the 2 minutes?
These days, medically, it can be treated. Premature ejaculation can be treated. If it's about the performance, he doesn't know how to wiggle it around and touch the crevices. He can learn.
So what about a case where his stamina is more than yours? How do you balance that?
Okay, that is dicey. Like, his libido is
higher than yours.
Man, you just have to step up. Give it to him, because you just you have to pace yourself to be able to match. Even if you don't match his libido, at least meet him halfway. Then situations where you are menstruating or you're pregnant and he can't have it, he has to control himself. But if you have a man that has a high libido, and then every time he touches you, you're having a headache. Every time he's touching you, your stomach is aching. Every time, there's going to be a big problem in that marriage.
So invariably, we're now saying that at the end of the day, it's still better that you have that sexual experience with whosoever you're cutting just before you walk down the aisle.
No, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that conclusively. Different strokes with different folks. If you believe you want to do that, good. But if you have strong convictions that are stopping you from doing that, you just have to dive in, by faith. You have to just go window shopping, like I said, and then every other thing, you just have to believe that it's going to work out for you, because you're the one who has that ideology. No one forced it on you. These days, no one forces anything on anybody. So if you say, I believe in this, then you go shopping, whatever is in the package.
The truth is that we've had, I've seen videos on YouTube where two virgins got married, and
who will teach who? I can't be a virgin and marry a virgin.
No. The funny thing about, sex, especially for two virgins, it's not something that can be, how would I say it? It's natural.
Okay.
Adam, who taught Eve?
Yeah.
Eve, who taught Adam?
You're right.
But they still conceived.
But you know what they say?
And they bore children.
You know what they say? They say Cain is not Adam's child.
That's
the serpent taught her and gave her the forbidden fruit.
Why are we bringing so much controversy?
No, I mean,
this is the first time I'm hearing this.
For real? Oh, wow. So what do you think the forbidden fruit was? Apple, guava, peach?
Let's just take it like it's. Let's just take the literal sense.
No, I'm loving this.
Let's just take it just as it is.
Okay.
Adam, Eve came together and they bore children, Cain and Abel. That's it. I don't know where the other controversy is coming from. So the thing is, it's natural. You will find a way to have sex, even if you're virgins. You don't need to be taught about it. You just have to improve on what you already instinctively know.
And I think it's even better because you don't have any external experiences to compare.
No sexual baggage at all. Do you get? Now, the reason why we have this sexual incompatibility in relationships or in marriages is because, we're coming from a past where we've had sexual intercourse with maybe more than one or two persons, and so
you're feeling, Frank does it better than my husband.
So there is this comparison. Now, when you now meet someone, okay, Frank does it better. He's got a big joystick and he scratches the itch. He knows how to thrust.
The G-spot.
But he's got a bad character. He's not the type of person who gives you that respect and regard. But yet again, your relationship is broken and you know that you cannot settle for less regardless of how stigmatized you are. Now you found someone who is loving, caring. Let's assume that his joystick is average and cannot put it down as much as Frank did. That's where the baggage comes into play. That's where the sexual incompatibility comes into play.
And do you know that some people will go as far as leaving their relationship, going back to hook up with Frank, just to have it scratched the way they want it to be scratched?
Yeah,
that's a lot.
So and then again, there is the thing with sex toys, exploring all by yourself in such a way that you've allowed yourself to get used to a particular toy that gives you a particular sensation from a particular pattern that you're used to or that the toy gives to you. And so
the toy becomes competition.
The toy becomes a competition between, let's stress closer. So the toy becomes a competition, and that competition is not one that can be won by a human man, right? And so you find out that if you're the one who likes fellatio and your man cannot give you that consistency and rhythm down there, just as your toy can, it becomes a problem.
Wait.
You now see in how incompatible he is.
What did I hear? So toys can give fellatio these days?
Of course, there
I'm lagging behind though.
are toys that
Oh
can
my
give
God.
you fellatio. It has its own tongue and it
It
just
has its-
wiggle around the
Oh my gosh.
powerhouse.
Oh my gosh, men are in trouble.
Oh, they've always been in trouble right from the invention
Get-go.
of dildos, right?
Wow.
So that's why I think the less sexual baggage you have,
Exploration.
the less exploration you have before you get married, the less incompatibility or the less incompatible you become with your spouse.
Yeah.
Do you get? Because I mean, if two virgins can come together and have the most blissful experiences and still top up their knowledge, because what virgins would do, I don't think that nowadays virgins don't know exactly what to do or they're not getting themselves enlightened, right? It's just the fact that they don't have to compare with their past relationship. Oh, Mr. A's joystick was 9.5. Oh, now my husband has opened. Okay, I did not sleep with him, so now he has what? Lesser than 9.5. He's now for less than average. So there is no comparison in any shape and form. But this is just tied to just virgins, right? So how do you now juxtapose religious context when it has to do with sex before marriage and then finding out if your spouse or your prospective spouse is compatible with you in bed? I think if you do not want to go against your religious beliefs, you have to just talk. From conversation, you will know what your spouse, your prospective spouse, or your future spouse, or the person that you're dating is open to.
Don't assume.
Yeah, you have to talk about sex. All right. What is he open to? How many hours is too much for intercourse, for foreplay? And remember, intercourse is just the final destination. The journey is the foreplay that makes it a lot lengthier. The foreplay is what gets you prepared for the culmination or the climax. All right. So he can be good in bed, like he can be good with the penetration and everything. But when it comes to foreplay, which is very integral, which is like a dessert before the main course meal, if he's not good with the foreplay, then it does, as for a woman, it will be a lot more difficult for you to enjoy sex because foreplay gets you prepared. So if you're with a man who does not give much time to foreplay, I don't think you would be able to enjoy
your marriage
penetration.
Period.
Because you have to be prepared. That place has got to be juicy enough for you to receive. All right?
Yeah.
So you have to engage him mentally and see what he thinks or how much he knows about the woman's anatomy. You as a man, you also need to engage the woman to know how much she knows about the man's anatomy and how to care. You don't necessarily have to really engage in it physically. There are information out there.
Yeah.
And once you have that information, you can practicalize it. You might not be perfect at first, but as time goes on with the more activities in the bedroom you have with your spouse, the better you get. You have to have a building block of knowledge on sex. And that is something that a lot of us run away from. We shy away from talking about it. But I think nowadays people are more open.
People are more, I mean, if you can go on YouTube to get recipe and you cook a food you haven't cooked before, why not,
do the same for your bedroom?
It's even more important than food.
So if you want to check your compatibility, you just have to talk. You have to gauge the person and know what they're capable of doing or what they're not capable of doing. So if he doesn't like to go down and you're the sort of person who would love to experience that, then you've got to talk about it and see if there is a way you can compromise. But I think in that sort of way, in that dynamics, if a man does not like to go down, you cannot force him to go down.
No.
If you as a person, you do not like to go down on a man, or you're the type that does not like to swallow and your man wants you to swallow, you have to talk about it and find a way to either compromise or go your separate ways if you know that you cannot compromise.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I don't know if we've answered that question. We did?
We have.
All right. So this is where we're going to end it. I hope you did get one or two, or we helped in any way. Until we come your way again, just to know that we love you and God loves you best.
Yes. Bye.
Bye.